going to ask you a question. Are you doing good in your life? Really? Well, before you answer, what does it mean to do good? That's what we're going to try and figure out today as we do each and every show here. We're going to try and define good together with the man, maybe he hasn't figured it out, but he's sure asking the questions. Wayne D., welcome, sir.
Hello. How's it going?
I just can't wait for the show every time it comes because I think in today's world, we all have different definitions of what good is. And we all think we're doing good, but are we really doing good? And to do that, we got to figure out what is good. What does it mean to do good? So you bring in the most interesting people you find who you think are doing good, who are doing good. Not just you think, they are doing good. And then not one of them has given us the same answer of what that means.
I know.
Isn't that interesting?
That's what's really amazing about it. Yeah.
So today you got another guest. He's going to answer the question for us. This is going to be the end of the series right here. He's going to define good for us right today and tell us all the good stuff he's doing. Bring your guest in. Who'd you got?
Yeah, so I want to introduce Gabriel Dima-Smith.
The hyphen's
that's
important.
An interesting emphasis,
right?
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
I've never. Is that an English name? Because I usually Hyde White or something. The British love to hyphenate names. Where does the hyphen?
Actually, it's the intersection between my wife's family and my family, the Dima, acknowledging her Italian-American heritage. And then my last name. Yeah. Names are powerful, and I wanted both for our families to merge.
I'm going to let you guys talk, but I'll play on that for a second. So my wife and she's liberated. We're all good old hippies, so she has to keep her maiden name, and I keep my name. And we adopted a daughter together, and we didn't know what name to give it, so we hyphenated our two last names, so our daughter has the combination of our names hyphenated.
I love that.
There you go. So
I wouldn't have never thought about that. Yeah, great idea. So you did that as a way to honor your wife and her family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Tell me about your family. Tell me about who you are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for me, I had a non-traditional family background, so bounced around all the place growing up, which really made me question my identity. And I really, as a young man, had to go on a journey finding myself. Yeah. And I'm still on that journey, but Absolutely. That journey has really informed the intentionality of the work I do. Meeting my wife really helped me kind of get my life together and build my foundation of my family.
And she's here in the studio watching.
Yeah, which is really powerful for me. This intersection between African heritage, Mexican heritage, and Italian heritage, which I think really is fascinating to me because it really embodies what I think our Orange County community is. We're a melting pot of so many different perspectives, identities, and cultures. And that's why I'm glad to be here and working in this community, living in this community in Anaheim. Always going to talk about the city I love so much.
Yeah. I love that. I really do. And everywhere and I'm not just saying this because your wife's in the studio, but everywhere we go, you talk about your wife. And I love that, man. I really do. Because they say behind every great man is a great woman, right? In a sense. And I love that because your wife is always there to support you. She's always at your side. And to me, there's nothing more beautiful than that. Yeah. I love that, man. I really do. I could ask you what your why is, but I already know pretty much what your why is. But maybe the people don't know. Why do you do what you do?
You know, my why.
Before we tell that, can we say what he does? We don't even know what he does.
We don't even know what he does.
Yeah.
Okay, what do
then you
do?
can say why
what
you do.
What do you do?
I'm changing the world one day at a time, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just a little bit. But on a serious note, right now, as I indicate, I'm the Director of Government Relations and Advocacy at Cal State Fullerton, which is a very powerful role for me personally because a part of my journey was starting as a student assistant to a director of government relations at my home alma mater, Cal Poly Pomona.
Okay.
So to come full circle to be a director of my own is really powerful. So what this role does is we're really the liaison between, and in my capacity, the federal and the state government. So this has two hats to it. On one half, it's the procurement of resources to fund campus housing, campus projects. Right now, we're working on trying to secure funding to just keep scaling and growing our ECS Innovation Hub on campus. But then the other half, which I'm so passionate about, is being a part of the process of shaping policies that are impactful to not only the CSU system at large, but students that are first generation, students that are veterans, students that are coming to the CSU for upward mobility, which is something the CSU leads in. Because without the CSU, I don't think I would be here on this podcast with you today.
Yeah.
Myself.
No, you'd be on my podcast.
Now we can say why he does it.
Why do you do what you do? What's your why?
Yeah, so to talk about my why, I'm gonna take a step back because people always ask what inspires your work. For me, I wouldn't say it was inspiration. I think it was necessity. As I indicated earlier, a comment that's just way too common in America, starting as a man of color with low socioeconomic status, non-traditional family household, a deck that feels a little stacked against you, which creates a lot of self-doubt, a lot of worry, a lot of concerns. I always remember going back to like 3rd, 4th grade, I had told a teacher, when I grow up, I would love to be an astronaut. And I remember many of my peers were laughing. I didn't fully understand why. My teacher made a comment, it's like, hey, you should really plan on things that are more plausible because not many people can be an astronaut. So that I remember
Isn't that terrible. Somebody, what's the movie that everybody talks about? It was on Amazon or something about a young Hispanic guy. What's the movie? There's a movie everybody talks about.
I don't know.
And that same, go look at. There was a movie about a guy who dreamed of being an astronaut. I think he did become one. And all the way they said, "You can't be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Give it up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't do it. Sadly, but it did start like creating questions in my mind about, okay, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Why do I best deal with these socioeconomic issues? Why are so many people in the same kind of environment as me in a country where there's so much prosperity and opportunity? I think the next inflection point of where I transitioned away from that, I remember there was in 2008 and a guy named Barack Obama running for president. And I remember I think it was the night before the election results. I was hearing all the speeches, just tracking the news as a senior in high school. Oh, what is this all about? Going to bed like, nah, this will never be something that happens in this country. To wake up the next morning and he was president of the United States. And I think that really thrusted in me to have the audacity to hope, which was his whole mantra. And start thinking that, okay, maybe this government thing could be a thing. But at that time, I was having a daughter very young. So I was at a point where becoming a new father, thinking about what am I going to do with my life? So I saw the military as an option. So I decided to enlist in the United States Army, which was such a fascinating experience to me because it was the first place where I met folks from like Mississippi, Indiana, California, Texas, Irish Americans, Italian Americans, Mexican Americans, Black Americans, Asian Americans, all in a melting pot, working towards the same mission of goal, defending our values, promoting freedom, and defending our Constitution, which was amazing because it really gave me hope. And it was something I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life, but then adversity struck, and I had an injury in the military, which made me have to medically discharge from the military. Yeah. So once again, I had found a place that was home and a sense of identity, and then I lost it. Again, going back into separating from the military and figuring out what I wanted to do. And I struggled through that. There was a period where I gave up and decided, hey, I'm going to work at Best Buy and sell computers, which I was really good at because I became top in sales in my region. And I was killing it as a computer salesman. But I remember my wife, Andrea, was like, Gabe, you are called to do much more.
Love that.
And I told her, you're absolutely ridiculous. We're paying bills. We're doing okay. But this is not what you're meant to do. She convinced me to go back to college. So I ended up enrolling in a community college and met a political science professor who said, hey, you really have a keen sense of public policy and government. Have you ever considered this? Yeah. I was like, no, I don't think this is for me. Like, I'm not a guy who could wear a suit every day.
And did you remind her they talked you out of being an astronaut once before, so you wasn't going to listen to this?
I sure did. So I wasn't trying to set the bar very high because I didn't want to fail again as my pursuit of being at NASA, which was
Let me stop for 1 second so everybody who's scrolling can stop and keep listening. It's called A Million Miles Away, 2023. Biographical drama on Prime Video telling the true story of Jose Hernandez, a Mexican-American migrant farm worker who overcame all that you're talking about and did become an astronaut.
There you go.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah.
And so tell us how it happened for you. You go from Best Buy salesman. That wasn't good enough, apparently.
Yeah, to my wife. She holds me to a very high standard, even when I don't necessarily believe in myself.
Yeah.
I love you, honey, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He told me, hey, you should go pursue an internship in Congress.
That was the next thing on your mind. Yeah, right.
So I was like, buddy, you're a little crazy. That seems impossible. So next thing I know, he tells me to go to a coffee shop, and I meet a woman who's a district director for Congresswoman Grace Flores Napoleon, who was representing the San Gabriel Valley at the time. And we just had coffee, And I remember her telling me that, I think you'd be a great intern. Come into our office, see if you like it, and see if you want to do some work. I told my wife about it. I was like, I'm not going to do it because it's unpaid. She's like, you're doing it. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. So then about a week later, I report to the district office in El Monte, a city I didn't know anything about, working with people I had never met, and started going with the congresswoman to like community events and learning kind of how the federal government engages the local community through constituent services, which was like helping them connect to veteran resources, any kind of like entitlement services they needed. So learning and navigating that. But there was a piece of me that felt like, oh man, there might be an opportunity for so much more.
Yeah.
So she mentioned, why don't you come all the way across the country and come work in my DC office?
Wow. Because
that's where we shape public policy. So I decided to pack my bags and go to DC and start working on public policy. And I remember I was working on issues like...
I got to stop you.
Yeah,
One
sure.
day you're selling computers at Best Buy
Yes.
after getting discharged from the Army because you got hurt. And now you're in Washington, D.C., you say very casually, shaping public policy.
Yeah, and I think that's the power of getting great mentorship. So Perla Hernandez-Trumpkel, her district director, really just kept motivating and inspiring me to the point after a year or so I felt confident to do that. So we get over there, and D.C. was quite the environment to me. I remember I don't think I really even owned a quality suit at that time. So I'm thrusted around. People are like, hey, where do you go to school? I'm like, I go to community college. He's like, yeah, I just graduated from Harvard, Yale, like all these very impressive resumes who had done internships at Fortune 500 companies. And I was little old me, just, hey, I'm here to learn. I'm here to figure out how I could give service to country and community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I love your story so much. What I love about it is because you didn't let this idea of this African American things or black things stop you from pursuing great goals. I hear so many in my through my life. I've heard so many excuses. Right? People say, "Oh, because I'm this, I can't get this. Because I'm this, I can't get this." I was told the exact same thing.
Okay.
When I was in middle school, this teacher told me, "You're not going to accomplish anything in life." I had a teacher tell me that you're not going to be anything. You're not going to accomplish anything. But I never let it stop me. Never let it stop me, man. And what I love about you is that you did the same thing. Is that you got your great wife behind you that's pushing you forward to everything that you've done. And man, our lives are so similar in the sense of that too. Because
do these teachers think they're helping you? Do they think, because William's been a teacher, and would you have ever told a student, "Hey,
never.
Get real"?
Never.
You're never going to do anything.
And I've had some pretty crazy students throughout my life in high school, and when I taught high school and I taught college, that I would look at them and say, "Man, this is going to be a rough transition, but you can do it." So, man, I love your story, and it's just a blessing to see what you've done and what's still yet to come.
Yeah.
So can we ask him the question? So what does define good for you then? Was it, you said community and some other things.
How do you personally define good?
Yeah.
Think about this question because this is the foundation of what this show is about.
This is like the most challenging question I've ever gotten in my life. And as I was coming to the show, I was just thinking about, Gabe, what should you say? You got to get this right because you got to make William look good for bringing you on.
I love it.
And for me,
I heard lots of things. I should savor a bit more here. You said something all the way I came to Washington. There was a great quote in there to serve community or to something there. Was that always on your mind? You weren't serving community when you're selling computers. You were doing good for your family. You were bringing home a paycheck.
Yeah.
We're at that time you said to your wife, "Hey, honey, we're doing good." But something good meant more than just money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think for me, it's doing something transformative. Because as a child, I remember being so just unhappy with the environment that I was just born into and wanting to
Can you talk at all about that? I'm not going to push you into
Yeah.
but was it a single family? Was it what was so rough
it was
about it?
no father in the home. It was really having no connection to family beyond that, bouncing around where I lived. I didn't have what you would call the most traditional family support system. So I was very reliant on spending holidays with friends and my external family and just families that took me in. That really shaped who I was. Yeah. And these are families of just diverse nationalities. And being just accepted into these different cultures really shaped just my willingness and desire to just bring people together, no matter what your ethnic background, your socioeconomic status is, for the greater good. And
so what is transformative then? That was a transformative experience. You're outside of your immediate family, what little there was of it sounds like here, and you're transforming yourself by meeting other people. Where does this word come from, transformative?
It's something I picked up, and I think this kind of lines to the point of what I define being good is. It's about, can you do or act or create something that leaves a lasting impact for another when you're long gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brought me into kind of the public policy, kind of public affairs space, because the way laws are written or the way programs are implemented can have lasting ramifications on mass amounts of people. And to me, defining good is being in that space and working in a collective group of like-minded individuals, and even those who don't fully just agree on how we're shaping the policy, to get something, whether it's legislation, whether it's a program, whether it's the direction of a university, in a space that can transform lives. And I define that as just the audaciousness to hope, the ability to move economically, the ability to expand your education and pursue your dreams. I just want everyone in America, this country I love, as a veteran, to have that opportunity.
Yeah. I got another question for you. You're in a car, you're driving, and this just came to me. You're in a car, and you're with your daughter in a car, because I know your daughter is in college. Yeah. What conversations do you have with your daughter about the future, about what she can accomplish or become? What are those conversations like that you have in your car while you're driving? I know I've got 2 adult daughters, and I know the conversations I'm having with them, but what conversations are you having with your daughter to prepare her for the future?
Yeah. First, we got to get through the latest thing she wants related to Hello Kitty. Because that is the foundation of the family. Yeah. We have a lot of Hello Kitty. We have definitely raised their shareholder profits with the amount of investment we've done in Hello Kitty products. But once we get through that piece, my daughter is everything I could ever wanted and more.
Yeah.
And her name's Michaela, and now she's going to be super embarrassed I said that.
I love that.
We talk about everything. You think I have an uncanny belief in what the future of the world can be? This young lady takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
And her passion is art. And the way she can communicate a message through art is remarkable. Like, we actually have a painting of hers in the government relations office at Cal State Fullerton. Wow. This just beautiful floral image. And I was actually like, what does this thing represent? She represents life and connectiveness.
I love it.
And I'm like, wow. I would never thought I just saw a flower.
Yeah.
And to me, that's powerful. And we talk about the state of the world. We talk about the struggles of the youth. She's really in a generation that was much different than mine. They really talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And they understand what they're going through, and they're so open to talk about it. Where I knew when I was growing up, we didn't really talk about what we're going through.
Yeah,
it was kind of,
cool.
Put on your boots, tie them up, pull yourself up. You're a man.
Yeah.
Be tough.
Yeah.
Fight and compete.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But we're going to talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
I want to understand why you feel what you want to feel.
I love that.
And she wants, this is why I feel. And that, I think, has opened my heart even more.
Yeah.
And I think it's holistically, she's made me a better person.
Yeah. I love that. I really do. I think about what you said about when we were kids, it was like, it wasn't cool to be emotional. It wasn't cool to cry and all those things. I remember my father, man. My father was in and out of prison when we were kids. And I remember him he went to prison for manslaughter, got out of jail, was a monster when he came. He had a 32-inch waist and his upper body span that was absolutely incredible, like 3 of me, basically. Mm-hmm. And I remember he came to my house, and I was probably about 14, and my brother and I were in the yard lifting weights. And he came to visit, and he was huge. Mm-hmm. We see this monster walking up, and we found out that's your father right there. I saw my father only a couple of times when I was a kid, but he came and he was lifting weights with us, and he's put weights on, and we started putting weights on, and he's put more on, and he put more on, and finally we put everything we had, and he laid down and he started pushing this stuff up, man, and he was like, "This is how I want you guys to grow up. I want you guys to grow up hard. I want you guys to grow up not being afraid of anything. I just remember just a few conversations with him as a kid, but every conversation was about being tough by not putting up with mess from people and all these other things. What I've learned through life and in my own struggles is taking just instances in my life and using them to shape who I am as a person, and also who I don't want to be. Yeah. And I remember taking my daughter, my adult daughter, to visit my dad as he's on his deathbed, and he was 165, 70 pounds by that time, just because of all the drugs and all these other things that he's done in his life. And there's no disrespect to my father. He was young when he had us, and he went through his own struggles. And God is good. He got a hold of him when he was a kid, and he became a Christian. And before he died, he did all these things. But when I think about us as men and being placed in Orange County for such a time as this, it's a beautiful time, man, for us to be in Orange County and to be able to do things. You're in you work for Cal State Fullerton, and me just getting hired at this great organization that I'm going to be working for. But man, there's so much work to do, and I love how people are open and willing to support what we're doing. Even this podcast, man, I get messages all the time. Hey, can I come on your show? Can I come on your show? And I'm like, sure. I honestly don't have to work hard now to get guests on my show. In the beginning, I was like, dude, just please come on my show. Yeah. And Eric Goodman set the foundation because he was the first person to come on the show. But defining good, man, is such a term that, like Paul said, every person that comes on this show has a different look of or a different idea of what defining good is, probably based on their backgrounds or where they came from.
Not one person has said the word transformative. That's why I pushed you on it.
Yeah.
To you, that's obvious. I could do something that transforms lives. Nobody has said that.
And some of these shows, man, when I post these short clips, I've gotten Sandra Crouch and Gary, her husband, was on the show.
Okay. Good people.
Yeah. And her defining good together, what she said, has gotten more views than any other show that I've done.
See?
Any other shows that I've done. And I told her that. I sent her a message, and I said, what you said about defining good was the number one out of all the other shows I've done. And it's a beautiful thing because you've got a different opinion. Everybody has a different opinion. And someday, if God allows, I'm going to take all these shows and put them into a book or put them into something.
I think that would be cool. I got to ask the question I think she brought up, and I brought it to some others, because it's the second part of the show. I thought the name was Defining Good. That was the whole thing for me. William kept insisting together.
Yeah.
Do we have to do this exercise together, or is define? Because you've had a couple of guests that come on and define good themselves. Here's how I define it, based on my life, based on my hurdles, based on. I've crafted my own defining good with nobody else's help, or is this a communal discussion? You work at a community college.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a communal discussion.
We live in a society that it's not just us.
Yeah,
and it's just not us. As an individual, striving for greatness, striving for good, striving for connectiveness.
Yeah.
So I believe you can't achieve good without the collective.
Absolutely. Everything's
and
done.
Many have shared that idea.
Yeah.
Many have felt that it's, can we be monks? I'm just going to go sit on the top of a hilltop and pray and be good.
Yeah.
Or do you have to do good together?
Yeah, I think the days are over of I. Like when I first started working at 16 and working for Vons and bagging groceries, I remember my store manager would come over and say, I accomplished this, I did that, I did this. And I'm like, dude, you didn't do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing.
And nowadays people understand that it takes a team, right? It's crazy, man, how things have evolved. And even this, defining good together, it's the idea of what you think is good, what I think is good, and let's come up with a common definition of what that means.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
If I went and asked your students, if I surveyed them, what would they do? How would they define good, and would they see it as a communal effort? I don't know.
I don't know. Our kids are so unique and
they really
special and have such a good worldview that they'll even advance the ideas we're having in discussions today. And that's what motivates me and drives me.
Yeah.
The Titan community, this Titan family I get to work with every day just fills my cup. My cup is overfilled with joy of just being around a student community that just wants to create transformative change. Yeah. And that's what I'm all about. So this is such a blessing to be in the role I get to work in every day.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It really is, man. Working with kids. One of my students from Oak Valley texted me last night, and he said, hey, I want to get together with you for coffee. Can you make it today? And he texted me late last night. It was like 10 o'clock. And then I was telling my wife, and she's, "You going, of course, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I met him for coffee. And this kid is amazing, man. He just poured into me. I was sitting there, and I'm thinking I'm going to mentor him. And I got so much from the conversation. We talked for 2 hours.
Give me an example. So like what?
Yeah, so he was struggling with something he was asking me about is obviously how I'm doing, because I left the college and now I was bouncing for a minute trying to get myself settled again. But he was asking me how I was doing. But at the same time, he was like, because he's a Christian, and so we're talking about God, and I feel like the Lord wants you to do this, and God laid this on my heart to tell you this. And everything he said was things that I had either read in the Bible recently, or I got from someone else or somewhere else. And so it was just confirmation about things that God had been showing me. And you ever sit and you go to a church and you listen to a pastor speak and you're like, how did this guy know my life?
How do you know that's what I'm going through in this exact moment? And you always leave, wow, that message today was for me.
For me. Yeah. And that's how it was with this student. This kid is 21 years old. Yeah. And this is what I feel like he wants you to do. And this is what he's showing you and blah, blah, blah. And then I told him some stuff and he's like, I didn't know that. And we just went back and forth, but it was just a beautiful exchange between, he considers me a mentor, and it was just a beautiful conversation between he and I. And man, I walked away full, like feeling so blessed just to have had that time with him.
Yes.
To me, it's a real gift. Walking around Cal State Fullerton, you've got thousands of kids that you can pour into.
Yes.
And you're there for a reason, man. And I know you know that. And
because he couldn't be an astronaut.
Oh, yeah, you never know. He's still young. He may get that call.
I couldn't fly me to the moon.
He may get that call. And his wife will probably say,
do it.
Do it. Yeah. But it's beautiful.
Let me ask you another question. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm curious.
Go ahead, Paul.
You're dealing with public policy and government. The general perception is government's not good. Government doesn't do good. Government should get out of the way. Government should be torn down today. Government should be gotten rid of. So many people are so angry with government. We had Betty Yee in here, the state controller. She's running for governor. Talks about all the good things she's done. I'm like, why haven't you told the world this? Because we're all saying, oh, government, get rid of that. That's terrible. That sucks. That's everything here. I don't know the government does a good enough job to tell us what they do. We know what they don't do. We're all angry at what they don't do, we think. But we don't hear enough about the good they do.
Yeah.
And that's something that frustrates me, because I'm a believer in what the power of government, what public policy can do. See, government doesn't do anything. Government is a vehicle used by people.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about defining good together, and we're talking about that connectedness as humans, that's what government is. It's bringing a bunch of people together to define what is good. And that's the question that's called here. And the challenge in the government is defining what that good is.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's a lot of great public policy. I think what entertains folks is division, because folks believe everything in the government is ineffective and contentious. I always try to bring government back to the basics. Having paved roads is a good public good. Right?
Absolutely.
That's a government concept that's implemented through tax dollars, right?
Yeah.
Having functional water that is clean every time you turn on your faucet. In most cases, there's water coming through that is clean and usable. That is a public good derived via government. So people say government isn't working.
Yeah.
I find that to be a little bit of a privilege, because there are so many privileges we're afforded as Americans, where if you go to other third world countries, that isn't present. You can see what an ineffective government that is not a democratic republic like what we have here in the United States.
Yeah.
It's the question of what we want our government to be doing specifically is, I think, the challenge here. But I fully do believe that as a nation, we are doing good, although we don't always agree on what that good needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think is, when you look at what you're doing now and where you've been, and I've got all this, the former roles and the great things you've done, you've been in this arena for a while. Do you see yourself down the line, man, doing something like really running for an office?
Oh, wow.
Down the line? And I've asked you this before.
We're going to announce it right here.
Okay.
His candidacy for...
Oh, man. This is a question I've gotten. I get this question at work. Like, I get this question everywhere I go. Have I thought about it? It's crazy to say no. You've never thought about running for office. Especially, I said I was very inspired by the election of President Barack Obama. Do I intend? I don't know. But I want to do good. And my whole journey, I articulate, has never been like of my design, it feels like. It's happens, right? So I believe the good Lord places me where I need to be.
Absolutely.
And if I feel like the Lord has called me to run for office, I'll absolutely do it. But I don't think that time is now, because right now I think I have a mission at Cal State Fullerton right now to elevate the student experience, make sure students have resources. I'm very invested in my daughter, who's coming in to be a Titan, and saying, hey, what change will she bring? What kind of person will she be? That's what motivates me. But I do touch it by being a city commissioner in my local city in Anaheim and try to give some of my public policy mind to my city. But that's a great question, and something that is curious. It's going to be something I'm always thinking about. Right. But I never could say, hey, I'm running for office. But I could say, hey, if that's something that needed to happen, and I thought, hey, maybe myself and who I am and the community behind me was supportive of that, I would consider it.
Yeah. And you've got time. You're a young guy.
Thank you. I have time.
You've got time. And I think it's something that, down the line, like you said, you're still finding your way through Cal State Fullerton, and there's so much work to do there. But also at the same time, too, down the line, there's going to be greater work for you, too. And it's a beautiful thing. And, man, you've got the support of the community. People know who you are when you go places, and that's important. And they know your heart, and they know where you stand on issues and all those things. And it's so powerful because you're a man of integrity, and we need that. In this world, we need that in politics, because I'm not saying that people don't have integrity, but there's so many that don't. They're in it for the wrong reasons. And for a guy to come into the political sphere and truly care, man, it's gold.
You got my vote. I'm ready to go. I don't know what you're running for.
Yeah, you got mine too.
Thank you guys so much. You flatter me.
I'll hand out flyers. I'll knock on doors. Whatever I can do to support you, man. You got that.
Thank you so much, man. Just Orange County is just a beautiful community, from not even just our diversity in community, our diversity in industry, right? I just love the partnership. I see students from going from Cal State Fullerton to working in some of the best companies in the region, and just being a part of that. This upward mobility is a game changer, and the multiculturalism, all these pieces in Orange County is what I think Orange County is one of the greatest places in the world. I really believe that. And if anyone wants to challenge that, hey, let's have that debate, because I'm ready to go.
I agree with you 100%. The people are amazing in this city, man. I had no clue until I got into this city. I never want to leave.
No, and we're happy to have you.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
As we wrap up, come down to the last couple of minutes, what would you tell your students about defining good? I somehow think they get it more than we get it. They seem to be more in the good groove than we seem to be in the angry groove these days.
Yeah, I just their hopefulness, their thoughtfulness, their just willingness to grow and keep learning and thriving and supporting each other is making me see good as something that is more than just transformative change.
Yeah.
It's just pure love.
Yeah.
Right?
Love
and
that.
Using love as the great unifier, using love in the classroom space, supporting each other. I'll give you a quick story here. I was walking through like the quad area, I call it, which is right outside the library, and I just saw this kid who was like crying, and I was about to engage him, but then this young lady walked up to him. I was like, what's going on? He's like, man, I didn't do too well on my midterm. It was a math midterm, so I'm eavesdropping here because I was just really curious where this is going. First, I thought they were dating, but that wasn't it at all. So I was like, oh, we'll get a little bit of young love. That was weird. But nonetheless, she was like, hey, I'm actually a math major. I'd be more willing to like help you study, and I won't charge you for it, because I want to one day be a math teacher, so I get something out of this helping you study. And he was like, okay, if I get at least a B on my math final, I'll still get an A in the course, which I'll maintain. I guess he had some requirement for a scholarship he had. And she was like, oh, I'll help you. She's okay, I'm available. I forgot all the specifics this time at this time, and just watching right there an example of the youth just supporting each other.
Two strangers walking across the campus.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what the youth is.
Yeah, and I'll give you one quick story, Paul. I know we got to.
This is good stuff.
One more quick story. Today, in this conversation with the student, I told him, because Oak Valley College is a business program where you get that bachelor's degree, 2 years and 8 months, and it's a great program. And I was talking to the student, and I told him, I said, make sure you hang in there till the end. This guy's a junior. He's truly an amazing young man. But I told him, I said, there's so much more work to be done beyond that degree. I said the degree is a start of who you're going to become in your life. But when you think about doing good, the world needs you. And I told him that. I said, the world needs you. They need your heart. They need who you are as a person. It is messed up, man.
Yeah.
This world is jacked up.
It's true.
And it's like throwing a pebble into an ocean, man. It really is. This kid is a rarity, man. And I told him, I said, you're a rarity in this world. You're swimming against a current that's huge. Take what God has given you, a heart for compassion, a heart to love, and do something great with it. And that's what defining good is all about, man. It's all about that, taking care of that next person and not asking for anything in return. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
powerful.
That's the way I see it. So
That's the definition of love, isn't it?
That's
Taking
it.
care of somebody
Exactly
else
what
first.
you just
yeah.
said.
Love
exactly what you just
is
said.
everything we need.
Love
Yeah.
it. All right, I'd love to hear how they can reach you if they want to learn more about the good work you do.
Yeah, everyone can reach me. You can go right to my LinkedIn. It's just my name, Gabriel Dima-Smith.
And let's spell that at the end just so they get it here.
Yeah, so Gabriel, Gabriel, Dima, spelled Dima, hyphen Smith, and send me a message, and I'm very responsive, and
love it.
I look forward to talking to you.
I love that. Love that.
And is there any accident that you were named Gabriel? Isn't Gabriel the angel that calls everybody all the time with the horn? And
That's
everything?
heavy.
Yeah,
That's a whole.
That's a whole
That's
nother
a whole
beast to
nother half
unpack.
hour, right?
Sometimes I'm okay at
You don't
delivering a
want to
message.
go there, Paul.
Okay, I just throw it out there. And how do they reach William D? these
Right
days?
now, they can reach me on LinkedIn. They'll be able to reach me on LinkedIn anyway, because I'm always going to post. Starting a new organization soon. I haven't announced it yet. I haven't changed my LinkedIn profile. I'll do all that once I sign on the dotted line.
There
But
you go.
as of right now, LinkedIn is a perfect way to reach me. And it's just William L. Deed, M.A. on LinkedIn.
There you go. Because
Yeah.
LinkedIn is another way to get people together.
Absolutely.
That's it. I'm glad you guys got together. I hope I didn't interrupt too much, but I had to take a chance to ask you a few questions and probe a little deeper, because sometimes you guys say, and I say, no, I don't know. Tell me.
No, you're great. I love your questions.
Okay. Thanks for joining us here. If you're curious, what is good today and how do we define it? How do we do it together? We got a show here that's going to explore that each and every time. We invite you to join us in this conversation. We call it just simply defining good together, unpacking leadership, loyalty, and doing the right thing right here on your right choice for a community conversation. OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.